Hey friends, what's up and welcome back. Welcome to today's video, which if you have been keeping up with my videos recently, you knew I was going to do this. Today's is going to be a just let me show you everything in my blush slash face palette collection. Some of them will even be just straight up highlighter palettes, but basically I'm going to show you everything in my collection that I have as far as face palettes, and kind of as we go tell you which ones are my favorites and why. I've told y'all before, blush palettes are my favorite way to go, quite frankly, just face palettes in general, because I tend to not reach for my singles as often, because a blush palette or a face palette just has an array, has a selection, a variety, and I kind of can just reach for it and just pick which one I want and go. I don't have to, I make it sound like it's such a big thing. Walk over to the drawer, go through all the singles. Honestly, it's just easier with blush palettes, and that's what I prefer to pick up, or what I prefer to buy. So if you're interested in seeing my blush slash face palette collection and which ones are my favorites and why, then just keep on watching. All right, my friends, so here is my face slash blush slash highlighter palette collection. There is a lot going on here, guys, and I know that. I've not even counted these. I don't even know how many I have, but we're gonna go through these together. I just wanna show you which ones I own, and then which out of these are my favorites, because there's some I definitely like more than others. So let's just get started. Again, not in any order. There's just a whole hodgepodge in here from all brands. So I do own the I'm not even gonna say that because I know I'm gonna say it wrong. This NARS palette is a highlighter palette. NARS makes amazing palettes if you like that kind of gelée type of formula. And this is a great one. This is one of those like limited edition ones that I don't think they make anymore, but I do love their formula for sure. And then next up, I've got the Huda, excuse the mess, yes, I have a bag down there. I've got the Huda 3D highlighter palettes. They're called highlighter palettes, but quite frankly, they also have blush. And I have found, hold on, let me pull this sleeve off of there. They have more, I think, blush than they do highlight, at least for my skin tone. But I've always really loved her packaging. But okay, so this is like totally proving me wrong. In this one, there is one blush, but the others do have other shades that run deeper that for me definitely are blushes. So I do have all four of those, and they're named differently. It's the, okay, so this is these two, one was like gold sand, one was pink sand, and then this one's the winter, and that one is the summer. So let me show you this one. Okay, so this one definitely runs more for me on the blush side, but I'm not really a fan of like the purple and blue toned, palettes, shades, whatever. So quite frankly, this gets used so little. But anyways, these days I probably wouldn't have bought it if it was released, but back in the day, I was like gung-ho about collecting anything and everything. So the Park Avenue Princess palette by Tarte is so good. I love this palette. First off, the packaging is everything. I mean, doesn't get more bougie than that. And then this comes with everything you would need for bronzing, contouring, everything. So when it comes to bronzers, it's not my favorite formula, but I'll tell you it's one of my favorite palettes just because it's got like a whole array of shades for bronzer, so it's easy to pick. And then if I'm in a pinch, it's got a couple of like highlighting setting type powders, and so sometimes every now and then I'll use that under my eyes. Not too often, but I do love that palette. This one's by Lorac, and this one came out with the most recent Pirates of the Caribbean movie, which I'm sorry, if you don't have the original 3 actors for that movie, then it's really not a Pirates movie. I know Johnny Depp is Captain Jack Sparrow, and he's probably my favorite movie character of all time. However, you can't have the movies without Keira Knightley and Orlando Bloom. So this is just like a super basic blush palette. I don't reach for it very often. I've kind of got away from the Lorac brand. But anyways, those things that I owned, I kind of held on to. I've got a Becca blush palette. What is this called? This is blushed, let's see, the Blushed with Light Blush Trio palette. Okay, so I don't think they make this one anymore either, but I, at the time, was a big fan of Becca blushes. I do still very much like them. I don't reach for them too much. So they're very, very soft. See what I mean about a blush palette? You've just got a whole bunch of, well, 3 variety, and you can just pick what's going with your, you know, with your eye look or whatever. So now let's get into a couple of Tarte palettes. Now I am going to tell you first and foremost that probably Tarte is my favorite brand for blush, and Tarte blush palettes are my favorite blush palettes to purchase. So typically they come out with these blush palettes during the holidays. I don't think that one was holiday, but excuse the nails, like the pop-ons, press-ons I had totally did a number on my nails, and now they're like super short. Anyways, so please excuse the ratchet nails going on right now. This one is one of my favorites. I love the look. It looks like Princess Jasmine, Aladdin, that whole thing going on, and you guys know my love for Disney. But truly, Tarte, to me, even though I've heard a lot of people say that these palettes don't have the original formula, the Amazonian clay formula, I love them. To me, they are bomb formulas, even for a palette, even if it's different, I don't care. But for me, they are just so, so perfect. They build very nicely. And they, yes, as they come out with, you know, each year, there's a lot of duplication, I guess you could say. But quite frankly, I'm a sucker and I buy them every single time. This one was, what was this called? This was the Tarteist Clay Blush Palette. I can't remember when this one released. I'm assuming it's not even available anymore. But see, again, you've got just a great variety, and you can just, I don't know, something about it. It's just, I love Tarte blush palettes and I can't stop buying them. Next up, this blush palette by NARS was part of a holiday collection. I'm sorry guys, there's like total shadows going on in here, and I know it's not the greatest, but I do apologize for that. So this NARS palette, again, was released holiday maybe a couple of years ago, and the packaging is primarily why I bought it. This thing doesn't close properly. Like, if I try to close it, it just pops back open. So I'm assuming it's going to go bad a lot faster than my others. It's going to dry out. But it comes with a bronzer, a blush, and a highlight. Definitely not one of my favorites. It's, again, a drier formula, and I'm assuming the fact that it can't close properly is also having something to do with that. Okay, let's move over here. Okay, so let's move into a few Hourglass palettes. So Hourglass, I think we all know, makes some of the best formula when it comes to bronzer, blush, powder, everything. And so whenever they release a palette, if I can even open this bad boy, whenever they release a palette, I'm all up in it, because to me, it's just, yes, it's expensive, but I'd rather pay the price tag for the palette than buy 3 full size of these that I will never finish. So this was a blush palette. So amazing. Again, their formula is incredible. One of my favorites. You cannot go wrong with Hourglass. This one was the Ambient Strobe Lighting Blush Palette. And then, let's see, we've got the, what's this? Ambient Lighting, oh, this is another Ambient Lighting Blush Palette. So I guess they don't name them differently. I've had these for a long time, so honestly, I don't even remember what they call them. But again, just a different array of blushes, super, super pretty, very luminous. Their bronzer is incredible, probably one of my favorite formulas ever. And so, yeah, have that one. And then this bad boy is the, what was it called? The Metallic Strobe Lighting Palette. I had bought this when it came out for holiday a few years ago, and it's beautiful. It absolutely is. I don't use it as much as I used to, only because I like a more blinding highlight. That's not to say these aren't, but they are a little bit more diffused. But they're stunning. They are absolutely beautiful, and I can't never not recommend Hourglass powders. This is the original Ambient Lighting Palette. The original. When I say, like, it was from the batch that first came out when they first released this, so you know it's old. It's probably expired, but I've told y'all before, I keep my makeup forever and a day. So I don't use it as much as I should, but yes, the powders are incredible. Comes with dim light, incandescent light, and radiant light. So very pretty. The Becca, Chloe, and Malika palette. This is an amazing palette. I love this one. I picked this up when it was still full price. It had ended up going on sale on Sephora's website, but even at full price, I thought it was completely worth it. Comes with a highlighter, 2 blushes, and a bronzer. The formula is great. It's probably better than a lot of the other Becca formulas that I've tried in the sense of blushes. I very much liked it. It's like a baked kind of formula, and this one is wonderful. But like I said, it was limited and I don't think it's available anymore. So this NARS palette is called the Unfiltered One. I feel like NARS has been in the business of doing face palettes for a very long time. They're probably one of the ones that really started the trend, you know? They've been coming out with these for as far back as I can remember, and I bought this one primarily for this shade, but obviously just a plus. It comes with a whole lot of others. And it looks intimidating, but quite frankly, it is absolutely beautiful. It goes on so nicely. It looks like a beautiful flush if you don't go in with a very heavy hand. But yeah, so I own that one and very much like it. NARS used to be one of my favorites when it came to blushes, but again, Tarte really has taken that, I guess, title for me. Yeah, but still a very, very good option. This NARS palette is the, oh gosh, I'm not even going to try and say that, but I know in the past I tried to say it on my channel, and but I don't think I'm going to today. I love the packaging to this. So, so pretty. Again, NARS has just been in the business of doing this for a very long time. This is not any kind of recent palette, y'all. I've had this for a while. It comes with, let's see, 4 highlighters, 2 bronzers. Like this formula very, very much. It takes building though, but I kind of like that because then I don't go too overboard. And these highlighters are also beautiful. I have found with NARS highlighters in this type of formula though, that the best way is to like spray down your face first with setting spray and then go in with this, and it will make it pop so bright. But yeah, so that's that. And then another NARS palette. This is the Wanted One. And this one is also, I love this one, especially for the highlight. If I can get this bad boy open, hang on. I'm getting Shop My Stash Deja Vu vibes, like totally. There we go. I know it freaks a lot of y'all out because you're like, I'm afraid you're going to break your makeup. Something's going to fall. Anyways, do a little circus act here. Anyways, this is one of my favorites when it comes to NARS because of the tones in here. Now, this one is a little light. Still pretty, but yes, a little light. This row is everything when it comes to blush. And then again, like I told you, this highlight is so, so good. It's very, very bright. It's very intense. And I remember when I first got this palette, that's the only highlight I was using for so, so long. So let's go on to another blush palette. This is the Color Wheel by Tarte. This was a holiday release years ago. And this is so funny because it's in this round packaging. And when I'm doing my makeup here at my desk, because I do keep it in one of these front drawers, sorry guys, I'm trying to open this up. I can hear it bumping around because it starts rolling back and forth. Did I just do that? I set it down and then it closed back up on me. Hold on. So there we go. Trying like acrobatics here. Okay, so these are awesome. I'm not a fan of the round shape. However, I love that you get 2 sides full of blushes. So you get like the pinky type shades, and then coming over here, you get like more the mauve-y type shades. When I say pinky, I mean like the brighter pinks. Look, there's even a coral. And then over here, you have like the mauve / brown type blushes. And then there's a highlight right here. I definitely am not a fan of either of these highlights. I have used them once and never again. The blushes are what I go for in this palette. But again, for the price, and I can't remember how much these usually go for. But even at like, let's just say $42, you get so many blush options in there that you cannot go wrong. This palette right here is one of my favorites of all time. 1, it is Tarte, but 2, it's different. I love different. Same old gets boring. And this was just so cute. Such a cute idea. It looks like a notebook. And same thing as that round one. It's got 2 sides going on of just different face products. So obviously a bronzer. You've got some blushes. Coming over here, you've got blushes and a highlight. Just so, so pretty. Different options. And yes, you're probably starting to see a little bit of like a repetitive thing going on with the color schemes. You may get 1 or 2 that are a little bit different than what you've seen, but I mean, still, it's just the way to go. I love this one so much. It's one of my favorites. I don't think I'll ever declutter that. Okay, so let's move into Jouer. Jouer makes some pretty amazing blushes. I would say these are in my top ranking for blush palettes because they are an amazing price. I think Jouer is a great brand as far as quality goes and price point, and I do love their formula, and I love the colors that they put in here. There's like a little bit for everybody, everything from the light over to the deep. It's just a lot going on. It's very beautiful. This highlight is a little on the chunky side, and it's not my favorite. It's also not the worst ever. I do use it from time to time, especially when I'm in a hurry and I'm using this like, okay, I got to put on blush and then I'm going to put on highlight. So that is that. I love it. This particular one is also awesome. The only thing is I've heard a lot of people say theirs was bending up and didn't close anymore. So I'm kind of waiting for that to happen. But look how pretty that is. The Bouquet d'Amour palette. So pretty. Same thing. You get a whole like array, variety. It's just a good way to go. And again, for the price point, with Jouer, it can't be beat. Look how pretty that is. That reminds me a lot of the Fenty cream blush in that tangerine shade that has been sold out for like 20 years. But yeah, so a good way to go there. Whew, y'all, I'm getting tired of talking. So, okay, the next one is the Too Faced Natural Face Palette. This one is so pretty. More than anything, I love how hefty it is. It's like it's like Too Faced took a step up on this. So this is what this looks like on the inside. You've got a little bit of everything in here. You've got a couple of highlights, you've got blush down here, and then you've got bronzer over here. It smells so good. I love this palette. This is truly one of my favorites. Now, I don't use it as often as I would like. I kind of forget that I have it. And then when I remember, I'm like, oh yeah, I need to put that one to good use. And so the only thing is, it's got one of these pink shift highlights that I'm not a fan of, that like I feel like all brands feel like they want to come out with one anyways, but that one is amazing. I would recommend this one very much. Oh goodness, when it first started with Jaclyn Hill and Becca, who knew that was going to end in such a fiasco, but I have a good memory tied to this, and I'll tell it real quick. My husband and I were on the way home from our honeymoon in Hawaii, and they were releasing this the day that we were traveling back home. We were at the airport, and I knew what time it was going to release. I knew it was probably going to take the Sephora website down, so I told my husband, okay, we both need to be on our A game. We both need to be on our phones. He went to the restroom before we board our airplane, and they end up releasing this a few minutes early, and I'm like, he's walking back. I'm trying to wave him down in the airport. People probably think I am a nutcase. I'm like, it's live. You got to order. You got to get online. Anyways, so obviously I was able to get one, but it was just so funny. And, I feel like that it's a good memory that's tied to this. So you guys probably know what this looks like. This is the original one. This is Champagne Pop and what other one? Champagne Pop and, Prosecco Pop. I forgot about that. Okay. So it's got those, and then it's got a few blushes. This one really is a great palette. I love the packaging. I love everything that's in it. And so this is not something I would probably ever declutter. So I love that. Very pretty. And again, tied to a good memory. The Dominique Cosmetics highlighter palette. I don't know why I don't tie. I just need to throw away that little sleeve. It's kind of annoying. Prisma Glow palette. This one's a great palette. This is, how can I put it? I did not expect to love it as much as I do. That thing looks like nothing. I kind of don't want to get anything in it because my fingers are so dirty. It looks like nothing in the pan. It's actually a very lovely product, and I think she has released a bunch of singles in this formula. But yeah, I do love that, and it and it makes a wonderful base for these. And these are like blinding. They're not for the faint of heart when it comes to highlight, and so this is a palette I hugely recommend. And she has a good price point for her products. Mostly it's a hit. Every now and then I've gotten a kind of a miss, but anyways. This is a Kylie palette. You guys know I do love Kylie highlighters and, eyeshadows and stuff like that. So this is like from the Kris Jenner collection or something. The packaging's kind of plain, but anyways. So this is what it looks like. The blushes, yes, they're a little bit lighter. Y'all, the highlights in here are so incredible. I will never get rid of this for that reason. So blinding. But then again, I've told y'all, her highlighters, let me rephrase, her limited edition highlighters are some of the best for me. Her permanents, those are just okay. KK Beauty highlight. These next couple are going to be highlight palettes. Y'all, I am so sorry for all the shadows going on. I will find a better solution for the next video. So these are also incredible. They are so blinding, so intense, and they're awesome. I can't even, I'm going to switch hands here because there we go. So beautiful. I love these. I love these, and I quite frankly want to get my hands on the other one, the deeper of the two. But anyways, so that is, that's that, as we almost knock everything over. Okay, the Anastasia Glow Kit from years ago, Holiday. This is like very gold. A ton of people didn't like it because it's so chunky. What can you do? But I actually really liked it. There's a couple I can't use. They're a little deep for me, but remember when Anastasia Glow Kits were like everything, and they're the ones that pretty much invented the highlighter palette. So love that. I probably won't go too much into these because you've seen these very recently, I'm sure, on a ton of people's channels, especially now that she released the bronze palette. I don't own the bronze palette, and I'm actually quite happy that I did not pick it up. But I do have Bloom, Love, and Tan. The Love is the one she released in February with her Love eyeshadow palette. Bloom was her very first. Tan is absolutely stunning. But yeah, so bronze I think is just going to be a little too deep and inconvenient for me. But y'all, oh, she makes such amazing stuff. Okay, so let's move that. We have so much still to get through, you guys. I gotta step this up. Okay, so a couple of other highlighter palettes. The MAC Hyper Real Glow. I don't buy MAC anymore, but I will tell you this is amazing. I got this one at Marshall's a long time ago. Love it. And then this is another Kylie highlighter palette. This was from the Stormy collection. This is what sold me on her highlighters. These are so blinding, so beautiful, so intense. Look, I hardly put my finger in there, and look at that. It's amazing. So that really is what sucked me into Kylie highlighters. Let's see, we're going to come back to this one in a little while because I got to take it out of the box. And then we've got the Pat McGrath highlighter palette. I love this one. It's beautiful, but it came very broken. So I have to be super careful when I use this. But this is a beautiful palette. This first one I don't use very often. Again, the pink shift. I don't get it. It's not my favorite. I don't care for it. This one's got like a green type of shift, but it's stunning. Obviously, it's Pat McGrath, come on. And then this bronzy one is everything. A deeper skin tone would make this pop so much. Absolutely stunning. I love it. So there's that. And then the packaging's super, super cute. It's very different. Just like I told you, I like different. Couple of Hourglass palettes. This one is the Ambient, and then this one is the Ghost. Is it the Ghost? And then this one is the Ghost Unlocked. Love these palettes so much. I passed on the first one, obviously, because you can tell the packaging is from this last holiday season. And I'm so glad that I picked it up when I did. It's very, very lovely. And I have been putting it to good use. It's been a while, though, since I've used it. So, and then I don't even think I showed you this one. I bought this one because of the packaging. In fact, I think this one was released the same year that one was released, the original of that one, and I opted for this one because of the pink packaging, but then totally regretted not getting that Unlocked palette. Okay, so this Laura Mercier blush palette, is this Laura Mercier? Yes, it is. The Cheek Canvas palette. I had wanted this one during the holidays. This was last year. Passed on it, and they ended up reducing the price during their after Christmas sale or whatever, and I jumped on that real quick, and I'm so glad I did. It's the packaging's different, obviously, and then the blushes in this palette are so nice. I will tell you, the highlights are beautiful. However, they are the type of highlight that sits on top of the skin and doesn't kind of melt in, so it looks like you've got that layer sitting over your skin, and you know, it's all right. So the Glow palette by Glam Glow. Gosh, getting stuck on my words. This one's okay. It was never my favorite. I was totally hung up on the rubber packaging. I was like, yes, this is so different. I never found the hype to this. Yes, it looks beautiful in swatches. Once you put it on your face, it's not anything super amazing. However, I won't get rid of it because it's super cute. This NARS palette, I love how it looks like water. And this is the exposed palette. This has a very different formula. It's stiffer in the pan, they're a little bit harder, and then they just kind of, I don't know how to explain it to you. They get those little dents in there from, you know, if you got to rub harder in there. And so I very much like it once it's on the skin. I just don't like the application process of this one. So yeah, but there's that. And then lastly here, we've got the Hot Tryst palette. Again, in that same spiky type of material or format or whatever you want to call it. And this also has like that same formula for the one that I just showed you. This highlight, however, is everything and more. Oh my gosh, do you see how crazy that is? Obviously I'm a highlight junkie. I can't have enough of them. So there's that. Look at the pile we've gone through already, you guys. This is insane. It's very eye-opening to me. I'm like, is it time for me to declutter? The Jouer Cheeky Summer Blush Duo was from a couple of summers back, I think maybe even last year. These are beautiful blushes. Again, when I say Jouer has a beautiful blush formula, they really, really do. And I love using this palette. I forget I have it, again, like with other things. Then I take it out and I'm like, yes, why haven't I used this in so long? This Too Faced face palette was from last year. It's nothing super spectacular. But yeah, I think I've used it twice. Let's see. Another Lorac. This was Beauty and the Beast when they first came out with the live action movie. And it's very pretty. I very much have enjoyed this palette. However, given, again, that I'm not a huge fan of the Lorac formula, I've kind of stopped using it, and I use other things that have come out that to me are just better. But yes, I did like it, still do. It's just not my favorite. I don't buy, having issues here. I really don't buy Lorac anymore just because it doesn't call to me, you know? It has to call your name. All right, the Tarteist Pro Glow and Blush is a lovely palette that I have not used and I can't even tell you how long. It's very pretty, but the thing about it is the highlighters in this palette, again, sit on top of the skin. And to me, I like the formula in those Amazonian clay blush palettes better than in this. The first palette of this kind I had since decluttered on Poshmark, so there's that, but that one's still in my collection. Okay, let's move on. So the Becca Christy Teigen. I'm not as much of a fan of this palette, and quite frankly, I am very sincerely thinking of decluttering it. It just, I don't know. I've never used it too much, and hold on, guys. I'm trying to get it open. This is like a balancing act for me. It's okay. I don't know. It never got a whole lot of love and use from me. I've used it probably all of, I don't know, a handful of times. It's okay. Again, I'd prefer the Jaclyn Hill over that one. So there's that. The BH Cosmetics Blushing in Bali. For what you pay, BH Cosmetics makes some amazing quality stuff, and this is no exception. The variety in here is crazy. I think this palette was like $18, and then I probably used like a $3.50 Ulta coupon for 3 blushes and 3 highlighters. Now, granted, that one's too deep for me, but that's okay. That could be like a bronzer topper, but just so pretty. Again, sometimes you buy inexpensive stuff and you're like, man, why am I paying so much money for other things when, you know, there's good quality stuff out there at the drugstore? All right, we're reaching the end, you guys. This Tarte palette was the Bling It On palette. Again, another holiday one. I'm not really going to go into a whole lot of detail. You know my thoughts on these, but there's that. Oh, you guys, this clunker. It came with like a couple of bobby pins or something, hair pins. But again, I think this was like my first Tarte holiday palette. Yeah, I have not gotten rid of it, but I don't know. I probably should. It is so clunky and I hardly use it. I know I'm all for unique packaging, but honestly, I don't know. It's not kind of the packaging I would envision. The Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush. This one is in the shade 01 Daria. man, y'all who got this on a super steep sale, clearance, whatever, y'all made out like a bandit. That's awesome. I did pick mine up at regular price, but that's okay. To me, it's worth regular price. It's incredible. This is a beautiful palette, and if you know, you know. And again, if y'all got it on sale, I'm highly jelly. A couple of glow kits by Anastasia. This is the Sweets glow kit. Let me take it out of this little sleeve. I don't know why I have kept the sleeves for this long, but this is what this one looks like. And yeah, that butterscotch shade is my favorite. Taffy is too deep for me. I don't know, like some of these have more that I can't use than I can. The famous Nicole Guerrero glow kit. This is one of the original ones. I did not repurchase another. This one came completely broken. And why does it do that? Do y'all have palettes that do this? They get like grease stain that starts to just get bigger and bigger. I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below what that means. Is it just like the oils from the product that are seeping out? Who knows? It looks gross. But anyways, I have that. And then lastly, I've got a couple of Sephora Pro palettes, the light and the medium. This one I think is the medium, if I can get this bad boy open for you guys. These are awesome palettes. I would 1000% recommend these. They come with bronzers, highlighters, blushes, and they are a great quality. They're so, so good. The medium, when it comes to highlighters, can run a little deep for me. But quite frankly, I think the medium would suit so many skin tones. And I think they also have a deep in this collection. And I want to say they're probably about $60 each, but from time to time they put them on sale. And I would 1000% recommend. When they first came out, I was curious about them. And then once Babs Beauty featured them on her channel, I was like, okay, I gotta go pick them up for myself. For the price tag, these are an incredible value, and these do rank high up on my list. I reach for them often. They've got a whole lot of variety. They're not very travel friendly, they're very heavy, but I love having them in my collection. Okay guys, I think that's pretty much it. That's a whole lot of palettes to go through. Yikes. So yeah, I may have a little bit of an issue. So, and if you think this is bad, just wait till we go through the eyeshadow palettes. Oh gosh, y'all don't even want to know. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you had fun just kind of following along. Some of that stuff isn't available anymore, and some of it totally is. So I enjoyed showing you, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. More than anything, just kind of spending some time together and chatting about makeup. I love doing that. All right, guys. Another thing I love is encouraging you and loving on you, and so I just want to end this video with a quick verse of the day, just in an effort to, again, just motivate you and encourage you through some really, really difficult times. You're more than welcome to skip out, click off, whatever the case may be. But today's comes from Hebrews 4:12, and it says, "The word of God is alive and active." I just highly encourage you, if you're going through, if you're like feeling troubled in your spirit, troubled in your soul, if you have a Bible handy, just pick it up and start reading it. I would encourage you to read first in the New Testament, just because it's a little bit easier to kind of sift through as opposed to the Old Testament. But the Bible, just truly in its entirety, is just such a peaceful read. You read it and it's almost like this just peace washes over you. And just as that verse said, it's because it's alive and active. This book is so powerful, and I don't say that in an effort to shove it down your throat. You're more than welcome to just disregard what I say, but it is an encouragement to you, only because it really can carry you through some difficult times. This word is absolutely incredible. And I love you. Jesus loves you, and know that I am praying for you. I love my YouTube family so very much. All right, guys, with that being said, I will see you in the very next video. Until then, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.